Wagwan viewers and subs, welcome back to class. Thank you for tuning in. Just got this one painted, looking nice and slick. This is that performance red color. But that's not why we're here. I'm going to be making that video for you guys based on the request of how to do a burn-in or how I do a burn-in. Now this is what we're working on. We have a new fender here. We're going to blend the hood and then we're going to blend the front door and do a burn-in on the pillar. This is all to make sure that our color match. Now this is Isaac, one of our new guys in the shop. So the first thing he's doing, he's making sure that he protect those parts that he doesn't want to paint or you don't want to get your sandpaper scratches on. Now for the second step, what Isaac's going to do is he's going to sand from the bottom to the tape line here with 1000 grit sandpaper. And then he's going to sand this area with 1200 grit sandpaper. Now the purpose of a blend is to make sure that the color matches, which means you're not going to be painting the whole panel in full. You're just going to have a little bit of clear next to the adjacent panel that you want to match, right? So avoid using rough paper. You don't want to use anything lower than 600. He finished sanding with the 1000 grit. I'm going to remove the first line of tape and then he's going to take it all the way up there to the second tape with the 1200 grit. Now the point of this is to make sure that your sandpaper scratches is fine enough so that when you're finished painting or clearing, you can easily buff out those scratches and a little bit of overspray on that pillar. And once he's all done with the sanding, go ahead and give it a nice scuff to get all the edges that the DA will not reach or the edges that you don't want to burn. Moving on to the next step, here we have the car masked up and cleaned up and it's ready for action. There's some back masking and regular tape on here. You can check out the last video to see exactly how I masked this. However, in this video I decided to leave the plastic here. Make sure it's nice and tight so that the overspray doesn't go all the way under there. Now if you notice here, there is 1200 and then there's still clear coat that wasn't sanded. Now you guys saw how I laid down my first coat. I didn't go too far. This first line of tape is where you don't want to pass with your paint, and the second tape line is where you don't want to pass with your pearl. And then this third line indicates where you don't want to pass with your clear. Now I'm laying down my pearl coat and I'm going to make sure that I don't go past that line. Now I'm quite well aware that there is different ways to go about a burn-in and people do things differently. I'll say whatever works for you, keep doing what works for you. This is my way of doing this. So maybe it's something new or maybe it's just the same way you guys do it. So you can learn a thing or two. If not, then we're already on the same page. And this burn-in would have been easier if it was just a two-stage paint job and not a tri-stage. At this stage, we're all done with the paint and the pearl. So now we're gonna go ahead and get the clear coat going. As I lay down my first coat of clear, I'll make sure I don't go all the way up to the last line of tape there. I will save that for the last coat. Now, after I let my first coat flash for about 10 minutes, I'm back doing the last coat. Now, see how far I went? Now, whenever I do a burning like this, I don't use reducer or anything. It's not needed. Once you have a separated gap with the 1200 grit and then clear coat, it's unnecessary unless you're going all the way up under the plastic or if you put a tape line there. All done here, guys. Now you notice that I didn't go clearing onto the old clear coat that was already there. I stopped it on my 1200 grit sand paper scratches. Now what I would advise you to do is remove this plastic or remove your tape line as soon as you're done clearing, just so that no hard line is formed. And now for the final step. As you guys can see here, there is no hard line. I didn't use any reducer, just some dry spot and overspray. In this case, all I have to do is get a 3000 grit sandpaper and just give it a sand on the edge of where I did the burning. You don't even have to go with a DA. What you don't want to do is go any more rough on your sandpaper grit, because then you start cutting into the new clear coat that you put on there, so it might look uneven. And once you get it sanded, you just go ahead and get it buffed up. So I used some compound, and you can just knead that in there and polish it up for perfection. And that's it, guys. We're all done. So we got it to look like the original, just like it was in the beginning before we sanded. Just burning in the clear, no hard line, no dry spot, no overspray. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment in the comment section, and until next time, guys, class dismissed.